Welcome to this explainer. We spend literally our entire lives chasing things we can see and touch. But what if all of it, absolutely all of it, is fundamentally useless? Today, we're going to unpack a profoundly fascinating philosophical text by an author named Xu Feng, and we'll be exploring a paradox that completely flips how most of us navigate our daily lives. The text proposes a really mind-bending concept, that everything we can actually see is useless, while the true utility in the universe remains completely invisible. It's all about listening to the sound of silence and entering through a door that has no physical form. So let's dive right into this.
Here is the core riddle of the entire text, presented right up front. The utility of things cannot be seen, and what is visible cannot be used. Now, this is a massive, direct challenge to our modern materialistic worldview. We are totally conditioned to value what we can touch, what we can measure, and what we can stick into a bank account, right? But Feng introduces this huge tension here between the seen forms of reality and their unseen essence. It suggests that if we rely on our vision alone, we're never actually going to find the true gates to life. And the text brilliantly illustrates this point using some really vivid opening metaphors. Just look at how nature operates for a second. Rivers flow a massive 1,000 miles, yet they don't have legs. Your own thoughts can soar 1,000 leagues in a split second, yet they don't have wings. Or think about the ocean. It provides a path, but only for the ships that traverse it. The author uses these images to prove that incredible, world-shaping power absolutely does not require a visible physical limb or form to function. The most massive feats are actually accomplished by completely unseen forces.
Section 1. The exhaustion of the seen world. Honestly, just reading this next part of the text kind of makes your heart rate spike, because the author perfectly mimics the overwhelming, relentless exhaustion of the daily grind. The text rapidly lists how the visible things we endlessly chase actually end up causing us harm. Think about the stuff we consume: visible food, tobacco, and alcohol. The text argues these just bring 100 kinds of disease. We chase visible cars, visible money, and visible houses, but these things literally drain our thoughts and wring out our blood and sweat. Even the visible roads and stairs we climb every single day, they just leave people out of breath, panting and tripping over themselves again and again. And the relentless grind just does not stop. Houses are visible, sure, but maintaining them completely wears out the heart. Visible machines, factories, and company buildings? The text describes them as places where people are fastened in like mere screws, completely exhausted and drained of their life force. We waste immense amounts of time and energy on visible clothing and cosmetics, yet we still never manage to keep up with fashion. And those highly visible tourist destinations we all flock to, they just deplete our savings and tire out our legs. The visible world, according to this, is just a giant trap of exhaustion. So the crucial takeaway here is summarized perfectly by this ancient reference the author pulls in. The 5 colors blind the eyes, the 5 tones deafen the ears, the 5 flavors dull the mouth, racing and hunting drive the heart wild, and rare treasures lead people astray. By constantly chasing visible forms, trying to capture rare visible treasures, and just generally overwhelming our senses, we are driven wild. We're led completely astray. The conclusion is absolute. What is seen cannot truly be used to elevate your life.
Section 2. The power of the unseen. Okay, let's just take a breath here. Let's actually slow down the pace for a second. We're going to shift away from the frantic noise of the material world and step into the expansive, quiet, unseen energies that actually sustain life. Let's see how the author builds this core argument by comparing 2 totally distinct realms. In the visible world, you've got earthly treasures, external forms, and even visible magic techniques. But Xu Feng argues that these forms are just illusory. If you seek truth in appearance or sound, you're on a false path. On the flip side, in the invisible world, you have heavenly treasures, spiritual intuition, and virtue. The text argues that the treasures accumulated in heaven, these unseen cleansing elements of the heart, are literally the only things truly capable of being used.
To explain how this works, the text introduces the Tao. But instead of leaving it abstract, it grounds this deeply mystical concept using a very specific, totally wonder-inducing biological example. Just think about a fertilized egg growing into a human being. The actual energy that allows that microscopic cell to grow, multiply, and become a living creature is completely invisible. The essence of the sun and moon, the spiritual energy of the earth, the way the Tao transforms all things, it possesses substance, form, and function, yet its operation is entirely unseen. It's actually fascinating when you stop to think about it. And this isn't just about cosmic energy. It's about deeply relatable, everyday human experiences. What are the truly useful forces in your own life? Well,
The text praises spiritual intuition. It highlights the aura of love. I mean, you can feel it deeply, but you certainly can't see it. It points to your wisdom, your thoughts, or the genuine concern of your parents. You can't put any of that in a bank, right? But these unseen forces are what actually soothe the mind and elevate your spirit. Their use is absolutely profound, yet completely invisible.
So you might be wondering, how do we actually access this unseen world? The author uses a brilliantly simple truth. A person drinking water knows best whether it is warm or cold. You can't just look at a glass of water and know its exact temperature. You have to experience it internally. The text uses this really relatable metaphor to show that finding the gates to life or sensing the substance of the Tao cannot be proven externally. Whether your heart is joyful or your spirit vibrates, heaven knows, earth knows, but anyone looking at you from the outside simply cannot know. It has to be sensed through your own spiritual intuition. Now, this internal sensing also applies to the darker aspects of the unseen world, like karmic debt. The text actually issues a very serious warning here. If you have a single penny of debt unpaid, you cannot leave. Even a microscopic penny of debt, though completely invisible to the human eye, holds immense spiritual weight. Your consciousness, and even the consciousness of the negative universe aligned with your will, can be used against you, but it remains unseen, just silently tallying up the spiritual ledger in the background.
So how exactly are we supposed to operate in a world that is split right down the middle between the seen and the unseen? The author details a very strict rule for interacting with reality. You absolutely must separate the two. Give what belongs to Satan, meaning use visible methods exclusively to handle visible earthly things, but give what belongs to the greatest creator to the greatest creator. In this framework, you have to reserve your invisible ways, like repentance, prayer, and consciousness, strictly for the invisible realm. Basically, do not mix up your tools.
Section 3. Navigating the Paradox. All right, we've established that the visible is a draining trap and the invisible holds the true power. But we still have to wake up and live in this physical world tomorrow, right? So the text actually offers some really pragmatic advice for how to live daily life with this dualistic philosophy. The author outlines 3 distinct steps or levels for handling our reality. Step 1 is the ultimate goal: fully awaken. If you achieve complete enlightenment and cleanse your heart, everything becomes totally clear. But if you aren't quite there yet, move to step 2. Use dialectics. Follow the middle way, practically balancing the visible and invisible as you navigate your troubles. And if you still don't quite get it, the text offers a surprisingly gentle step 3. Keep a childlike heart and simply play your way through the game of life.
I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative question drawn directly from Sufeng's themes today. Where is your treasure truly stored? And are you making the mistake of looking for the gates to life using only your eyes?